So if you're a manager, Diane, what can you do to help foster curiosity? Because here's a generation which feels like they know it all, and they or they
They
have so
probably
much
do.
like, yeah. Uh, and I
Yeah.
also want to talk, maybe ask you, because the instrument that you created is, do companies, I mean, can managers use that as a tool? And when would you recommend that be kind of utilized?
Well, it's really important that you can get buy-in from the top, of course, to change the overall culture of the organization. But that doesn't mean you can't start a movement from the bottom down to get them interested in this. And I think that's one of the things that I've been working on, is to try and get more data to share with leaders. Because when they see, oh yes, we're losing 550 billion due to engagement, and now I can tie in the research, like for example, Novartis had research to prove that they moved the needle on engagement by making a culture of curiosity. And they did that through paying for 100 hours of training, a year for everybody, or they did it through these TED Talk type of talks they had their employees get. They did it through Curiosity Month. All these things that I was associated with them, I saw the value of. So a lot of it stems from, if you can make your position known to the next level, sometimes you can make a lot of movement going up. Now, it's not always the case, because there's some cultures that just say, you know, don't come to me with problems unless you have solutions. They use all the old, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a point where the leader's going to eventually get ousted, you're out of the company, I should say. And you're going to eventually find that that culture, it becomes toxic if they don't embrace curiosity. So I'm seeing a lot more leaders going this direction, because it's making them relevant now. It's making them innovative now. And as this is, if you could tie into innovation, that's what leaders, they need to hear that. I mean, I worked for 20 years in AstraZeneca, a pharmaceutical and ag chem company.
Sure.
And if your R&D wasn't there, if you weren't innovative, the company's gone, right? So it depends on the industry, how important innovation is, which it's usually is. And, I think that it's very frustrating when you're mid-level or lower sometimes, if you don't see these initiatives coming from the top. But a lot of the times, the top is open to these insights, just nobody delivers them.
Yeah.
And that's why these curiosity launches that I go to add a lot of insight to all groups. And so you mentioned the Curiosity Code Index. And so what I do when I go to organizations, usually the people who hire me, it's come from the top. They want this, right? But one of the things that we do for the top and middle level and whatever down to the, all levels of management is we train everybody in the organization to improve their own personal knowledge of what's holding them back, and then set them up with goals and all that to move forward, right? To understand their inhibitors and build a plan to overcome them. But what we also do in the training is find out the problems the company's facing that they want to fix. Like, are they having problem with engagement or critical thinking or leadership, or are they having problems with collaboration, or anything that, of course, is that if you strike the match of curiosity fixes, right? So when I train them, not only do I train them, the employees, of how to improve, but then we come up with the solutions to the problems that leadership has said. And we tie it into curiosity. How can building curiosity fix this problem? And so then you're whiteboarding, and you're, doing all this brainstorming with all these people who are super excited to fix their curiosity now. They're giving all this insight. The trainer, sometimes with me, sometimes with somebody I've trained or or certified to become a trainer, now has all this insight from their employees' mouths, basically, to give to leadership. So here's your solution.
Yeah.
And they love that. So that's a top way to get from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And HR people love it. The consultants who become certified,
they're happy too.
Everybody loves it, because everybody's doing their job. It's kind of like Disney. Disney had gone to their employees and said, what, we're getting all this turnover within this laundry division, and why are you? What can we do to make your job better? And it's expecting that they're just going to get crazy stuff back, nothing they can fix. But what they got back were really helpful things, like put an airband over my desk so I'm not so hot, make my table go up and down so my back doesn't hurt. And when they fix it, they saved $100,000 just from
Wow.
asking a question, you know?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the thought process behind how I train. You go, you get what they say, take it to the top. So it does work from Gen Z on up.